The story I am about to tell you is one of the most frightening you could ever hear. It deeply disturbed and shocked me, so much so that I found it hard to believe it to be true. I had never heard a story like this before. I've read and heard a lot of different stories in my life, but nothing that compares to this. I never thought that such a thing could happen in reality. It's a real story, confided by one of my subscribers. It's up to you to make up your own mind in the comments. A young man, Mady, who is 33 years old, told us a story he lived. He says he will never forget it. Be careful. If Mady had continued on this unknown road, he could have put his life in danger or even gone mad. He would also have lost the people who are most dear to him. Mady tells this story to make you aware of the dangers. He advises you not to take the same path because he deeply regrets this decision to this day. I will tell you this story from Mady's point of view so that you can live it better. 10 years ago, when I was 22, I met a girl named Iman. She was very nice, and I really cared about her. We were really good together, to the point that I was even thinking about getting married. We loved each other very much, and we wanted to make our life together. Iman, too. She loved me a lot. We had known each other for more than a year, and she was really adorable and caring. One evening, we had planned to see each other the next day, but when I saw her, she told me not to go near me, that she hated me. I was shocked and asked him what was wrong. She repeated that she didn't want me anymore and asked me to leave. In my head, it was total confusion. The day before, she said grandma, and I was crazy about her too. We were about to get married. How could she change so suddenly overnight? The worst thing was that I didn't understand what I had done with my life. I tried to talk to her another time, but she wouldn't listen to me anymore. And in her eyes, I could see that she was angry with me. One day I decided to go to her and tell her, "Explain to me what's going on or I'll ask your family." So she started telling me that there was no point in going to see her family. She told me that she had been feeling weird lately, that she was having strange sensations, and was having terrifying nightmares that shook her even when she was awake. I started asking her questions to find out when it all started, and if she could sleep after her dreams. That's when I understood that maybe she was possessed, a victim of witchcraft, which would explain her change of attitude. I then told her that I knew an exorcist, and that we could go see him so that with God's help, she could get out of it. She agreed. The next day, we decided to meet at 2 p.m. We saw each other at the scheduled time and went to the exorcist. He was a benevolent man, and you could see that he had great faith. When we arrived, he received us with a lot of warmth. Iman then told him what she saw at night and what happened to her. The exorcist began to ask him questions. She was answering, and he seemed to understand a lot about the supernatural world as if it was usual for him. After many questions and many yeses in response, he concluded that Iman was troubled by a demon who wanted to marry her. He looked me straight in the eye and told me that with God's help, we were going to get rid of this demon. And there he started the Rakia, which is a healing prayer to drive away evil spirits. The exercise began by reciting specific verses from the Quran. Suddenly, Iman started screaming in a deep, terrifying voice, very different from her normal voice. She insulted us with very ugly words that I don't even prefer to repeat. I was sure it wasn't her who was talking. After the session, Iman calmed down a little, but the exorcist took me aside to tell me that the demon was still there. He was strong and resilient, and it would take a lot more sessions to chase him away. He gave us holy water and prayers to repeat to protect her. I took her home and then left. But Iman did not follow any of the exorcist's instructions. She has not read the Quran or bull to the blessed. His condition was getting worse day by day, even though she seemed to be better when we went back to the exorcist. As soon as she got home, everything started again as before. We spent 6 months doing sessions without any results. Imagine all this time. She was changing, becoming someone else. She was losing her beauty, wrinkles were appearing, her hair was falling out, she was becoming very thin. She no longer laughed, ate almost nothing, and never smiled. It was as if Iman had been replaced by another person. I loved her so much. Ready to do anything to save her, I wanted her to heal so that we could get married and live happily. But life has given me the hardest blow. Iman is dead. I can't describe the pain. It was awful. I was overwhelmed by sadness, betrayal, despair. I felt that it was the invisible world, the world of spirits, that had taken Iman from me. His death was unnatural, that was clear. She had been carried away by this demon. The police investigated without understanding anything. Even the exorcist confirmed that she had not left in an ordinary way. I wanted to take revenge, to make this invisible world pay. I swore to myself that I would do it for Iman. It was a terrible decision that I still regret. I wanted to become an exorcist. I looked for an exorcist to ask him to teach me. He advised me to stay away from all that, telling me that it was too dangerous a world and that I didn't have the necessary experience. But I insisted, saying that my faith was strong and that I would not fall into evil. He explained to me that there were steps to follow to become an exorcist. He warned me that an exorcist can either be on the side of good or become corrupt. He also told me that some exorcists work with Muslim jinn to perform miracles. This is where the story continues, with me facing a dangerous choice, a perilous path where faith will be tested to the extreme. I'm going to tell you a terrifying story in simple words. The exorcist I was talking to was not a real one, but a charlatan. He claimed to be good, but in fact he was a sorcerer. He gave me instructions to become an exorcist, but they were not for the good. He told me to go to a secluded cave and stay there for 40 days in complete darkness, without seeing anyone. I didn't know anything about it, but I accepted. The charlatan told me to meet the next day to go to a cave known to the wizards of Atlas. He gave me talismans and words to repeat in the cave. He advised me not to be afraid when everything would turn dark. He whispered 3 words in my ear for my safety, telling me to wait 5 minutes before going out after hearing them. In the cave, there was an old mattress, a chair, talismans on the wall. It was dirty and smelled bad. I wanted to become an exorcist on God's side, but this cave was full of witchcraft. I had no notion of time. I was alone with the sorcerer's display to repeat, unknowingly invoking demons. The terror grew. You can't see these otherworldly beings unless they take on a different appearance. After a long time, I began to see and hear terrifying things. At one point, I heard the 3 words in my ear. I had forgotten to stay 5 minutes longer and ran out. It was the biggest mistake of my life. This is just the beginning of the story. If you want to hear the rest, don't forget to subscribe. Tell me if you want the second part in the comments.